Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to the ESL Premier European Land Grand Finals. Believe that we've got all of our issues sorted out. We should be getting live into the matchup here very, very shortly. We've got a minute or so here to talk about what's going on as far as the picks and bans are concerned. And we briefly touched on this beforehand, and it kind of went according to what we were talking about before when we were talking about map statistics as far as how these teams kind of lined up. EFrag banned out Overpass. HellRaisers banned out Train. Those were kind of what we already thought. HellRaisers very good on Overpass, so that was one that was like an instant ban from the EFrag side. EFrag picks Cash. HellRaisers pick Cobble.
Yeah, we had kind of said HellRaisers was likely to pick either Overpass or Cobble.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of which one EFrag decides to ban. So really, it's EFrag has to look and say, well, which one are we worse at, Cobble or Overpass? Mm-hmm. And looking at the statistics, you could see Overpass was statistically their worst map. So they went ahead and banned Overpass, and then HR picks Cobble. So no surprise there. And then we went further in. EFrag bans D2.
Yeah.
Even though it's a map they're good at, knowing that it's a map that HellRaisers is also good at, and then HellRaisers bans Inferno. Final map ends up being Mirage.
Mirage, which should be, if it goes 3 maps, which it definitely has the possibility to do so, it could be great potential to see a really, really solid 3-map series between these teams. Both teams very, very good on Mirage. So it should be a pretty good lineup of matches here, especially starting off on Cash. And that's, kind of as North American casters, we get to cast a lot of Cash.
Yeah, a lot of Cash. I mean, Cash, if you look at the current map pool, Cash is the most pug-happy map.
Yeah.
Most, common to see a team play like a spread strategy on their T side, kind of putting a player in each position as possible. Mid, presence, boost, A main, maybe squeaky, couple towards B main as well. Just kind of playing the pick strategy, get that kill, maybe roll out. So it's like a pick and roll strat. Mm-hmm. So that's why we see it a lot in North America, because teams know they can just kind of come into the map underprepared and just try to outfrag their opponent. Doesn't happen as much in EU. Teams are a little bit stricter. And there actually are some really cool executions you can do on Cash. It's just not as common because, it is so pug-friendly.
Yeah.
So it's rare that you see a lot of these solid executions like the Molly takes towards B, where you could basically just burn out the whole site and then just storm in, and both guys are flushed out. They have nowhere to hide.
Or the threat NIP strat into the A-bomb site, talking about Molotovs, where they just pretty much carpet bomb the entire site.
It's like just an airstrike of napalm. Lands on the whole site. You molly off every popular spot, so the only places they can go are either away from the site or right in the middle of nowhere.
It's like playing Worms.
Yeah, it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. What are you going to do? You have no cover. Best bet, you get one and you die.
Yeah, and that's the lucky scenario as far as that's concerned. So Cash being our first match of the day, definitely looking forward to it. And again, I think one of the matches that we actually casted earlier in the season was one of the Cash matches for HellRaisers during the regular season, which was something that we actually they had a lot of pretty solid terrorist side strats. One of the things that you got to see a lot of times was that they would put the AWP in the hands of Oscar, and he would work his way towards the squeaky door, towards that A bomb site, and they would have somebody pop it open. He would take a shot down on towards highway or short or whatever however you guys call it. We usually just call it short A or cat, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, this map pick ban really works out well for HellRaisers. So yeah, they get Cobble, which is good for them, but they also get Cash. They're competent on Cash. It's one of their better maps. So yeah, it's a great map for EFrag, but it's just as good for HellRaisers. So really, the ball's in their court. If they pick up the first map, it could be a 2-0, which would surprise a lot of people. I think as far as the betting odds go, they were strong favorites.
Yeah.
But I think that's just more along the lines of people not knowing who MK is because they don't realize it's EFrag.
Right. And one of the other side of that too is just I would actually kind of be surprised if HellRaisers doesn't actually take this 2-0, because just looking at, we've got our stat sheets in front of us, and they've got a 56% win rate on Cash. EFrag has a 58%. So it's a toss-up between these two teams as far as Cash is concerned. But then you look at Cobblestone, 56% win rate for HellRaisers on that, whereas EFrag is down at 42%. So obviously that was where they got their veto process from, very much more comfortable on Cobblestone than Train, which is why they ended up banning out Train. Actually, both teams are statistically very, very weak. It's the worst map in the pool for both of these teams, so I wasn't surprised to see Train go.
To be fair, that's kind of common for any team.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are not very good at Train.
Yeah, unless you're Virtus Pro or Na'Vi or Luminosity, then Train really isn't something that you play all that often.
Nip, once upon a time, was pretty good on Train. You would put Forrest in the B site with the Scar 20, and Dignitas, who became Astralis. They also used to be very good on the old train.
Yep.
But again, that's old train. Like you're looking at history and it's like, well, Nip was really good on Nuke once upon a time. That was the old Nuke. And
Yeah.
it was an old roster. So much has changed, so like we don't really know what to expect.
It was really fun when they did the All-Star game and they played on Nuke. I loved that.
See, I actually didn't get a chance to watch that.
Oh man, it was funny because Get Right ended up top fragging for the European side of things because it was like it was vintage Get Right, playing on Nuke and just destroying everybody. It was awesome. It was really cool to see. So I'm actually looking forward to when we actually see our first couple of professional matches on that, just to see how the metagame has kind of changed on that map with the outside catwalk. I know that in the last patch they had an opportunity to or they revamped some of the things on the map. I haven't had a chance to actually look at it just yet. Same thing. We're actually using the old version of Cache pre-patch where they changed a couple of graphics on the map. They changed the vents and stuff like that into the patch. We're actually using the old version of that for this. So bear that in mind as well. So when you look at it and you're going, wait, this isn't the same version as what they've got in the game right now, it's just because we're using the older version.
Are you talking about the most recent one?
Yeah,
because there was a new
one
one where it was like the last week or so where they like changed all the ground skins with like the moss and added like some new textures to the map. You're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where they changed the vents to the same ones that are on Nuke, where if you hit your use key, it actually closes and
I
opens
haven't
the
actually
vent.
even seen that map.
I
yet.
haven't either.
I haven't had a chance to play
Been
it.
traveling, so.
Yeah, I think that even before I was traveling, I just didn't have time getting prepped, getting ready. So I haven't even actually seen it. But one of the bigger problems with the new Nuke was was the hitboxes on the containers outside. Like you could hit it like
you
2
could
or 3
clip
inches.
the corner,
you could
yeah.
clip the corner with a nade. If it's not one of the more annoying things in the game for you, probably because you didn't play the old versions of CS. Like back in 1.6, grenades were about this big.
Yeah,
and you
throwing
threw them through,
watermelons
like,
at each other.
This tiny little paper. It was the most ridiculous thing. The hitbox on grenades back in the day was about a pixel.
Yeah.
But you could throw it through these tiny little cracks. So if you came from like 1.6 or even Source, where it was not
plus
nearly
the click throw, which was one of the things in Source where you didn't have to, you actually had to pull out the nade to throw it. In 1.6, you had to hold down your mouse button in order to get it out. You couldn't just click your mouse and it was just an instant throw.
So like those are things like silly things that we think of.
The small things in life.
But,
I actually put a video on YouTube not that long ago talking about the map DE Light, which was a 1.6 map back in the day, which was personally for me, it was one of my favorite maps back in the day. But I just did that I know somebody's actually working on making that map for CSGO, and it'd be interesting to see them port that in because all of this hubbub that's been coming around about, Nuke's coming back, but we don't really like it because there's FPS problems on the map. Things are, it's very, very different. We're uncomfortable on it. Taking out Inferno, well, what maps would you like to see come back? And one of the other ones that people have been talking about a lot was DE Contra from Source. Yeah. I know a lot of people, that probably make you happy.
I
know
love Contra.
Some of my friends at home are probably like, man, I wish that it would come in. But that would be a map, a lot of people would like to see come back. Ruska might be another one. People want CPL Mill or Tuscan to come back.
There's a lot of maps. There's a lot of potential maps that we are looking at, but let's be real. Valve made it pretty clear their intentions when they brought Cobble back. Mm-hmm. There was no, okay, we listened to the community, you're right, the map's broken, we'll fix it and we'll bring it back. They're like, you're stuck with it. We threw it back to you. We'll fix it, but we're going to continue playing it.
Right.
And really, when you look at that, you're like, yeah, that kind of sucked for the first few months when the map was garbage and Godspot was a joke and it was a really one-sided map. But they fixed it. Over time, Cobble actually has become one of my favorite maps to watch. I'm not necessarily a big fan of playing it, but it has become a map that is enjoyable to watch. Overpass still needs a little bit of tweaking, I think, to make the map a more enjoyable map. Nuke's going to need a lot of work.
Yes, it is. I'm actually being whispered in my ear right now that we're having a little bit of an issue with the Go TV right now, so we're going to take a real quick break, guys. We'll be back with this as soon as everything's all set and ready to rock and roll, and we'll have our first match, which is HellRaisers versus Mortal Kombat, coming up next, guys. Guys, we are back. We should be getting live into the game here. We've solved all of our issues, it looks like. So HellRaisers versus XE-Frag, a.k.a. Mortal Kombat, going to be starting up here any moment. We should be switching over to the in-game feed and getting this one live and cracking, man. Looking forward to it. Cache being the first map.
Yeah.
So we already said that this is just going to be a brawl. I mean, very even for both of these teams as far as this is concerned. I've got in-game audio.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I mean, I'm looking at this map as likely the closest map we'll see.
Yeah.
Of the maps that we're playing out, with the exception of Mirage potentially being like a coin toss. But I'd say, like, looking at both teams, this will be the best match we have.
Yeah.
Or the best map we have in the match.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Cobblestone should be a pretty solid HellRaisers victory. They're pretty solid on that map. and then going to Mirage. Again, it would come down to each team winning their map pick, essentially, going into this, because this is eFrag's pick, or ex-eFrag. This is their pick. They chose to go on Cash, and this is also a strong map for HellRaisers that we were talking about before the last break. So with that in mind, I believe that we're in warm-up right now, but we should be getting this one live here any second, and we'll actually be able to cast some CS today. So I'm looking forward to it, get things going, and yeah, very, very exciting times. And remember, guys, BO3s all throughout the day. Single elimination is the way that everything's going to break down here. So you lose your BO3, you go home. That's the way that it's going to be. And there you go. Now we're live into the knife round, guys. So looking forward to this one. It is going to be knife for sides throughout this, even though there was a veto process. But yeah, and it just looks like, I mean, HellRaisers is beating them up right now in the knife round. So it should be HellRaisers most likely starting off on the CT side, unless they decide to get risky and go for the terrorist side again. I mean, that's this map has actually become a little bit heavier towards the terrorist side, but we'll see what they decide to do here as we get live into the pistol round. Yeah,
I mean, it really is kind of like, it's like Dust 2. It's like, you know, we lost the knife round or we won the knife round. It's not the end of the world. In my mind, Cash is a map that can skew T-sided or CT-sided. 9-6 is usually the score. It flip-flops a lot. Really depends on how the pistol round breaks down. This is a map where a lot of times you'll see a team get off to a 6-0 and then it bounces back. Because, you know, if the T-side wins pistol and then wins the first gun round, the CT side's broke, basically, before like the 6th round when they can get all of their money out. It really depends on your discipline. If you lose pistol round on the CT side and you go into the 2nd round with a force buy and it doesn't work out, you come into your first buy, you probably don't have an op in play. You probably have limited utility. But the pistol round is underway here. And it's going to be a 5 armor setup from both teams, so neither one going heavily disciplined into the pistol round.
Yeah, and actually very aggressive here on the B main. Zero is going to open things up with a frag on a Dreamer. Spinning back around, he's got one in checkers, but Angel's going to be there to back him up. Bubble goes down as well, so it's a 2-man advantage right now for the CT side of HellRaisers as they're looking to shut down this push in towards B. Angel's finding another one, and a third. Wow, what a round from Angel. He finally does fall, but Oscar comes in to clean things up, and HellRaisers up with the pistol round.
A huge pistol round there. I mean, completely shutting down the B push from MK, which was a little bit awkward. They went 5 armor, and it was like kind of this long-range duel in B main, and they slowly got closer, but at that point the numbers were down. Kind of surprised to see a lack of utility on both teams. No one went for a kit, no one went for a smoke or a flash, nothing. It was just pure armor.
Well, pure denial, too, from HellRaisers. They didn't even get to sniff the bomb site when they were making their way in. Angel was actually down at, like, red HP, sub 20 HP, and when he got that 3rd kill. So, huge round from him. Looks like we've already got a run boost going on. There you go. Put him up top. Nice and cozy up there. Now, I believe that's Dreamer. Yeah, Dreamer close on A main. He probably heard that boost go out. So, I'd be surprised if they come out and don't check that. But that's actually kind of interesting to see that in the 2nd round in an anti-eco round. Usually you're going to save that for a gun round, surprise the people with that boost to get an early pick or 2. And we'll see how it actually pans out here for Stico as he's perched up top.
There's actually an interesting thing that can build from that, though. So you keep a team guessing as to whether or not they've boosted someone in the round. So if they get late to A main, they don't know. So it's another variable moving into that A site. You know, you have to check quad box, you have to check behind red, or default for that matter. Car, highway, balcony, forklift. I mean, there becomes so many options when you throw that into the mix. It becomes a little bit harder to go for the take. They do get a little bit of mid control as Victor has flashed the man out in Z connector. He's got a Tech 9 working his way over towards the vents. And there you go, the man up in the boost. He's going to get 1 kill, but gets taken down by the Tech 9 of Dreamer. So definitely skewing towards the T side there with that duel. Victor still in mid, looking to take down the man in Z connector, not going to win the duel against Zero, and it looks like it is going to be around for HellRaisers. NK Hell does have something to say about it as he gets the headshot onto Questone over in quad box, and they're going to be able to get the bomb plant here unless Angel can get in time, and he doesn't. NKL using that salvaged FAMAS to pick him off, so all of a sudden this has become a very good round here for MK. Down to just NKL though, the man who opened up the site. He's going to try and get that recoil under control, doesn't do so, pulls out the Tech 9, and down he goes, but a very expensive round here for HellRaisers.
Very expensive, and adversely, Mortal Kombat going to put a lot of money in the bank off of the back of that one as well, forcing 3 rebuys, so that's going to keep the money low on HellRaiser's side. They get the bomb plant. They did invest into armor. You did see NKL. He was able to pick up those 2 kills, but he did have the head armor to work with into that round too. So that was a heavy investment from Mortal Kombat as they didn't get the bomb planted in the pistol round, but they're going to force up behind this, and I don't think that this is a bad call at all. They're still going to be going up against 3 SMGs. You've got an MP9 on both Quest and Stico, and you've got the UMP HP in the hands of Angel still. See if they put him up top. And actually 4 members going towards the A bomb site right now, so maybe some sort of a cheeky A main play coming out here from the CT side, and it looks like that might be the order of the day, but there's a flashbang in. They flash themselves in as well, but it's Stiko getting 2, and then Quest is going to come in, so that push just gets annihilated. This buy not going to net him too much, but NKL does answer back with 2 from the Galil. And now they've also got Bubble coming back around towards the A main side of the map as well, just looking if he can get any kind of a backstab into these players that have pushed in towards the lockers.
Yeah, it was interesting. So HellRaisers probably came into this round expecting this to be pure pistols, knowing that they got a bomb plant, but they weren't likely to force up coming off of a force buy. But Mortal Kombat, knowing that HellRaisers lost so much money in the previous round, they purchased up Galil's, and they did manage to get 1 AK, and now it's being put to work. It's on the back of Bubble. NKL has the Galil. Good shooting from Bubble to take down Questone, and now it's down to a 2-on-2. He's not going to peek towards A main, though. Oscar sitting at the stairs, able to gun him down. So it's just NKL, the savior from the previous round with the bomb plant, now left in a 1v2, and he already has 2 on the round. He's looking for the 4K. He's got 30 HP and a Galil to work with, going to try and work his way towards A main. He knows there was one in that area. He's got plenty of time to work with here, 45 seconds left on the clock, and bomb control definitely playing towards his favor. Limited utility on the CT side remaining, 2 flashes on Zero. Zero's over in mid, Oscar back by default in the A site, and KL still working his way in, though.
Yeah, Oscar's in a really good spot here. He actually takes the fight. Mano-y-mano, takes him down. It's actually 2 kills on the round there for Oscar as well to shut that down. 3-0 for HellRaisers. It will be a save here for the Terrors. Actually, no, they're going to force into some armor, and they put another Galil in the hands of NKL. So another force bite coming out. They bought up the pistol armor to go into that second round. They bought up a couple of Galils and an AK in the last round. This time around, it's 1 Galil to work with, but they do have a little bit of Tech 9 power, CZ onto Spy Leader as well. So see if they can get anything done. But they have been heavily favoring towards this A bomb site in the last couple of rounds. This time it's going to be a pre-nade out in towards A main. They did pre-flash it last time, which kind of held them back a little bit when they went for that push. But now it's going to be Tech 9 versus Oscar over here. And Oscar is going to be able to win that fight. But they're streaming out onto this bomb site right now, and they can't line it up. Quest, he's just out in no man's land. He gets taken down by Dreamer, and they should be able to get a bomb plant on the back of this. But the bomb has been dropped as well. So they do have to recover that and then go for the plant.
Good shooting here from Angel over on Highway to take down Spy Leader. Dreamer's still sitting back by Forklift. He's going to use this smoke to sneak in towards A main. They're not going to expect that. Victor's kind of banded back in the site. Dreamer finally comes out of the smoke, and it's a double there for Zero at the end. Picking up 2 on the round, 2 for Angel as well. You know, it's kind of an interesting situation here playing out. If Mortal Kombat gets the bomb plant here, this is a buy round. And that's why they went into that force. They knew they were at 2,400 loss bonus in the previous round. They'd be at 2,900 if they lost there, plus the 800 for a potential bomb plant. That's 3,700. At bare minimum, that's a buy round. You can get an AK and armor, not factoring in any other cash left over, which they clearly did have some money built up, as some players still had about 3,700 to 3,800 left. So this still could have been a buy had they gotten that plant. I think that's what they were banking on. But that nade, good lord.
Yeah, they actually double naded over the top, and you can already tell the Mortal Kombat HP very, very low already to start this. They're going to boost over the top. Angel should be able to have a field day with these players going over the top if he can actually keep his recoil in check. There's going to be the first one. He actually just sprays away, uses a lot of bullets out of that M4A1, so he's going to be looking for some more action. They're high-low peaking right now. Spy Leader did take down Quest as well, but Stiko's going to be able to rectify that immediately afterwards, and now Angel finds one more. Dreamer is able to take a second one down. Ooh. Actually gets another one onto Angel there, but Zero does finally finish off the round. 5-0 for HellRaisers, and you called it early on. How many times have we seen like a 6-0 scoreline in favor of one team? This is actually going to be our first full buy round with good utility for the Mortal Kombat side as they do reach that max loss bonus.
And the one thing working for HellRaisers here, they've been losing a lot of guns, but 2 players have yet to die. Zero and Oscar have survived every single round.
Yeah, and they're up near $10,000.
Exactly.
Too.
They have about 12 to 13K to work with. They're able to drop guns for the players who have lost their rifles multiple times. So that's like the only saving grace in these rounds. They've lost a lot of money, but again, off to a 5-0 start, very solid. And like you'd said, this is the first full buy round from both teams. Only 1 Molly on the T side, so not going to see that immolation round that we were hoping to see. Actually, a Molly from the CT side over the window to force Bubble out of Sunroom. Kind of an interesting decision, spending that much money to flush 1 player out.
Yeah, they actually dropped a second Molotov into there as well, or incendiary grenade. Those are $600 on the CT side versus $400 for the terrorist side, so it is a little bit heavier of an investment here for the CTs, but not too much damage going out just yet. Bubble was on the receiving end of a nade over towards Sunroom, which dropped him down to 85, but the rest of them are very, very healthy moving forward into this. Smoke comes out in towards A main, or pardon me, B main, and now it looks like they're going to flash in towards A main to get a little bit of info, and that's a great flash, but the spray comes out, and Quest and Stiko both going to double peek that. There's another one coming around. That's going to be Bubble, who does rectify 1 player, drops Angel, but he's going to get mollied out as well, so he can't pursue anybody else that's going to be in that area.
Look at the flank coming in, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this. The 5-man coming around in mid. I believe that's Oscar coming in on the flank. Bubble's going to get completely caught off guard by Oscar, who had pushed in towards B main. And again, it's NKL, the man who has consistently been the last man standing LMS here. Over in towards Squeaky Door, he's going to get into a duel with the man behind the forklift, and down to 1 HP. Stico barely losing that duel. But yeah. NKL, I mean, what is he going to do at this point? He's so low on HP. He doesn't have bomb control. 15 seconds, there's really not a whole lot he can do except die. And there you go, 6-0 start for HellRaisers. Now, that molly that we had seen in towards B, that molly over had flushed Bubble out back towards B main. Because of that molly, that's what allowed Oscar to push up into B main. He gets in front of the box. The T's smoke the cross. If they go for a B execution, they're going to assume he's not that far up. So the molly that seemed like a heavy investment early on actually gave HellRaisers a lot of control over B main by allowing Oscar to come out of checker and force a fight that's up close. But another buy round coming in for MK here, AKs across the board.
Yeah, and bear in mind, guys, that this is Mortal Kombat's map choice, so we'll see if they can start to string some rounds together on their terrorist side. Like we've kind of talked about in the past is the fact that we've seen pretty heavy terrorist side score lines in the past for Cash. It's kind of started to swing over there, but some of these teams have very, very strong CT sides as well, and showcasing it right now. And oh, pushing the smoke, that's bad timing. A flash does come out. Oscar's going to be able to find one, does drop NKL very, very low, and Zero finishes him off. It's a 2-for-1 trade going in towards this B bomb site. Zero still on the site. Flash is raining on out. Fully flashed terrorist side. Zero's going to be able to chime in with the second one. Now Quest, he's up on top of the balcony. Zero does run out of bullets, pulls out the pistol, but Quest is going to be there to bail him out. Look at the nades just rain on out. They're going to roast him, but Quest finishes him off. And that is a 4-man stand for HellRaisers. I think that's the first time that Oscar's died. Yeah, that was the first time that he died. Zero died in the previous round. 9-1-1 for Zero, 6-2-1 for Oscar. Very close as far as the frag totals are concerned for HellRaisers. Everybody pulling their weight. I mean, you've got 3 players sitting at 6 kills, 8 kills for Angel, and 9 for Zero. So everybody's contributing here on the CT side for HellRaisers, and they just stifled everything from Mortal Kombat side so far. Yeah,
that kill at the end there was actually a net loss for the CT side. They spent about 1,800 just to kill him. Flush. I think that was 3 mollies, 3 incendiary grenades, maybe even 2, but still, the kill only nets you $300. And that player is all by himself. So interesting decision. I think they were just kind of like throwing nades. Look at the scoreline. They're not necessarily super concerned with their economy right now. It's just going to be a full bore rush in towards the A site, and they do get an opening frag. Stico taking down Bubble, but Victor uses the tech time to take down Questone. Angel chiming back. Bomb's going to be planted, so it is a post-plant situation here, but it's going to be quite difficult. They're still stuck on Tech 9s, only able to get 1 AK. It goes down immediately. Spy Leader's going to pick it up in the absence of Dreamer. Down he goes, so nothing working with that rifle. Again, NKL, the LMS, over on the Toxic Barrels, and another solid round for HellRaisers as they continue to dominate MK here on Cash. Trying to get that Tech 9
Come on.
Too.
Oh,
he was
I thought he was
going
to nade it out, yeah. And then he realized he's only got 46 HP, so he decides otherwise. And then he bids farewell to the pistol that he wanted to pick up. That's a little unfortunate, but 8-0 for HellRaisers. They came out swinging, and we kind of talked about, you know, they're good on this map. And that was one of the things, you know, you ban Overpass, you pick Cash on the Mortal Kombat side, and you're still picking into a very strong map for the HellRaisers side. And they're definitely showcasing it right now. They haven't even picked up an AWP. They're known for being able to put 2 ops on any given side. You know, Oscar being a very predominant AWP player as well as a rifler. Kind of talked to him last night about it when we were having a couple of beers at the hotel, and he was just mentioning, you know, he's like, I was just joking around talking about, you know, I like to play a little bit of hybrid role, pick up the op when I'm feeling it, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm very good with both. That's how he put it. I'm very good with both. And he hasn't had to pick up an op. He's only died once.
Yeah.
So, or maybe twice now, but still, you know, very well-rounded player. And we were talking about, you know, kind of hyping him up beforehand, but he's definitely one of the strongest players, kind of the superstar of this team. Him and Stico have been very, very strong in the past as far as HellRaisers is concerned. So it's great seeing these guys show up in a big way so far in this tournament.
And if you look, Oscar doesn't really need to pick up an op. Why would he need to? There hasn't been an op presence on the opposite side. Really, that's money playing against the side of MK. I don't know if they would pick one up anyway. You can get away with a 5-rifle setup on a map like Cash. Looks like it's going to be another A execution, though. Questone going for that molly to kind of buy him some time. Victor dropping in mid, and Bubble as well is there to take down Zero, so a little bit of mid control here. Some promise early on in the round for MK. Another pick goes their way as Stico is dropped in the A site. It's going to leave Questone all by himself. Down goes Angel. This looks like it could finally be a round here. Questone's going to go for the flash through the smoke and gets 2, But down he goes to Dreamer, and it's all on Oscar here, the all-star player we were just mentioning in a 1v3. Bomb's going to be planted on the A site with about 20 seconds left, and he's just going to run his way up and try and catch that bomb planter on his way out, but not going to happen for him, and he doesn't realize probably that there's 2 players to his back as soon as he goes in towards the A site. Going to get gunned down in a second here if he's not careful.
Yeah, he's a little bit wary right now, but he's actually gotten himself into a really good position. He's got to deal with Dreamer, who's sitting right next to Default. He's going to flash in towards A main, or at least decoy. Yeah, that's a flashbang. Now he knows where one is. Flushes out the player that's in sight. Looking for the one in A main. Not able to get it done. Drops Bubble down to 35 HP, but he does get cleaned up in the end. And finally, 9 rounds in, Mortal Kombat are on the board. But look at how much money they still have on the CT side to wear through. Zero's going to be able to drop a rifle over Oscar as well. You can see the investment coming out. Lots of money being spent here from the CT side. Barring another loss, you might see Mortal Kombat pick up 2 rounds and a save come out from the HellRaisers side. So that could give Mortal Kombat an opportunity to get back into this matchup.
Yeah, and it's still not out of control at this point. The CT side has 8 rounds. If you can win out here in 8-7, half is actually not bad. And it's kind of somewhat standard to see an 8-7 scoreline, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. But again, you know, these rounds that HellRaisers have won have cost them so much money. All of a sudden, that triple Molotov to kill the 1 player left standing, you're like, okay, that's a lot of money to invest in just 1 final kill of the round when we had 4 or 5 players up. All those little decisions start to build up. The economy in CS is a lot like chess. You're not concerned with now, you're concerned with 3 moves from now or 3 rounds from now. It's the constant concern.
Slow play this time around, very spread out on the terrorist side. Bombs over there sitting in A main, A main just waiting for a push to come in. It's so hard to tell with the overlay, but Spy Leader is going to work his way back. Looks like they're going to maybe throw a little bit of a smoke execution in towards that A-bomb site, or at least they're dumping a couple of flashes over, and they're going to go for a boost play here in towards mid. Dreamer's going to be the one up top, and we'll see if they do go for that mid execution. It worked for him in the last round. They were able to find a couple of kills there in mid, and now it's going to be Oscar on an information gathering mission right now. He's going to peek out. He spots the first one. Spy Leader goes down. Nobody in position to trade, and he gets back cleanly. So pretty much a kill for free going the HellRaisers' way to start this round out. Very low time, 30 seconds left on the clock. They're not going to be anticipating this player up on top of the boxes. And there you go. Zero's going to be able to find one, gets out as well. Finally, Oscar goes down. They're spamming through the smoke. Zero's down to 20 HP. He's got to find a way to get out of this position. Drops a flashbang. That doesn't really do too terribly much. Gets naded out of position. 18 HP. Drops in a pit. But Dreamer, in the meantime, did find Quest, but Angel's there as well. So it's down to a 2 versus 2. Only 8 seconds left. They're going to strafe out and try to drop the bomb carrier, and there's no time left on the clock. Dreamer does not have bomb control, and that's going to be the round. So an expensive round nonetheless for HellRaisers, but they're going to reset Mortal Kombat.
I think the only thing that's good for them in that situation is that Stiko was the one who had the least amount of money coming into the round. He was at like 1,200.
And he survives.
And he survives. So it stabilizes the money a little bit, but even still, HellRaisers is on very thin ice right now when it comes to their money. 1 round loss means Mortal Kombat can put them on eco and potentially a double depending on how things play out in the next round or 2. So even if HellRaisers gets to a 10th round, Mortal Kombat using this full loss bonus and bomb plants that they've been getting to build these buys out, it's not the worst thing in the world. They're going to be a little bit lighter on utility this round, and especially so with that Galil on the back of NKL. Nice nade landing over top, but a little bit too late as the players had already boosted up. Angel's going to get a 1-for-1 in mid as Victor takes him down after he dropped Dreamer. So they've got mid control, which means Stiko's got to watch his back here from Highway as 2 players are already working their way up in that position.
Well, that smoke into A main is going to be good. He actually spins around, finds one, not able to adjust in time for that second player that's coming up on Highway, but it's going to be Oscar to find Bubble. He rectifies the situation. Man advantage going the way of HellRaisers, but it's traded back quickly, but they don't check the NBK spot, and that's going to drop the bomb carrier. NKL goes down, and it's all on Victor in a 1 versus 2. Does have the AK. He's got 3 kills to his name right now, but he's not ready for that backstab coming in from A main. Zero finishes him off, and now comes the hard reset here. I said that the money was very tight on the Mortal Kombat side. They went for the force up to try to reset HellRaisers. They had them very, very close on a Razor's edge, but now you can see out comes the UMP in the hands of Angel. They know that they're reset. They're going to force up again.
And this makes sense at this point. You're down 10-1.
Yeah, you got to put rounds on the board at this point.
Money doesn't matter anymore, so you can't really focus on your economy. You can't think, all right, well, let's rebuild our money. We'll go with the pistol. And we haven't actually seen a save from MK. I think we saw 1 eco round. They're at 10-1.
They still upgraded pistols into that, but they haven't fully saved a round yet.
Exactly, and that's to be expected. No team really does a true eco anymore. It's very rare. Maybe the CT side, if you win pistol and then lose the second round, you'll see a USP round or a USP P2K round. But pretty uncommon that you see teams go into a round without purchasing pistols. But for the most part, it's been force buys from the side of MK, and it hasn't really affected them too much, but they still have not been able to put rounds on the board, and again, it's going to continue here. It's down to just Bubble, who's over towards B main with a Galil. Takes him a while to take down that man over back towards the tree. He's going to get his M4, but with the bomb down in the A site, and he's in a 1v3 with very low HP, going to be a tough situation for him.
Yeah, not really the best situation for HellRaisers to try to chase this one down, as their economy is not that strong after that. Even after that one loss, with the amount of players that they've lost in the last couple of rounds, that they don't have the strongest economy to work with, but they've still got Quest boosted up top. They've got a player playing Toxic Barrels right below him, so they've got the angles covered, and it's a long time for Bubble to save. So if they do send, one of their top HP players like Oscar or Angel out on a little bit of a scouting mission, you can see Oscar here in the Z hallway there in mid, but he's not really going to find too much, and we'll see if Bubble actually does decide to go for this in a 3v1.
He has to.
Yeah,
there's no save situations left anymore. You're in a 10-1 scoreline. You know the situation. 11 rounds is not exactly solid for your T side to have 11 rounds for your opposition. We talked. This is a pretty balanced map in the current rotation. This is probably the most balanced map of all of them, because even Overpass, which skews more to the T side, it's more common to see 10-5 on Overpass than maybe on this map. This map definitely bounces between the two, which in my opinion shows you how balanced it is, because sometimes you'll see the T side win, whereas it's common for one side to win most of the maps in the current rotation.
Very aggressive up here towards mid in the smokes. Outside of B as well, Stiko's going to find one Oscar as well. They've still got a player playing in the back boxes in checkers, but it doesn't even matter. Oscar's going to be there, finds a second one. Angel chimes in, and Oscar finishes it off with style. 5 HP, 3 kills, 12-1 for HellRaisers right now, coming into the final 2 rounds of this half. And just an absolute monster performance so far from them. You can just look at the frag total for the terrorist side for Mortal Kombat, and the only one on double digits is NKL, and that was kind of because he was LMS and picked up a couple of late round kills that way.
Yeah, we have what, 62 kills on all of HellRaisers, so that's ridiculous. That kind of shows you 62 kills. That's 12 rounds of solid full eliminations.
Yeah.
Only 2 players. Or only 3 players surviving at all throughout the entirety of this first map.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see. Oh, there's the boost.
He saw him for a second.
There you go. And down goes Bubble.
That's just kind of how it goes. That's how this whole match, that is the epitome of this match right now for Mortal Kombat. They just cannot get a foot in the door. And a lot of the times it's been HellRaisers playing a little bit more aggressive to prevent a possible take. And you have to look at, okay, if we're on a slow take and we're requiring a lot of utility for that take, the second we lose one of our key players for the take, it changes everything altogether. And this is another aggressive position by Angel. Victor, and Angel playing a bit of a do-si-do on the boost spot the second that Victor stands up. First? Yeah, it's really just a matter of who peeks first. It looks like it's going to be Angel who goes for the pop flash, and he gets the kill on Victor there.
Nice. Really well played, too, throwing the pop flash over the top as well. I don't know if he actually turned a little bit from it. It did go over his head, but it might have just blinded him enough that his reaction couldn't be fast enough to that player peeking out that close to him. NKL does answer back, and there's another one for Spy Leader. So we're down to a 3v3 right now. HP values between the two teams is actually relatively close, but look at Oscar. He's on the prowl right now. Does have 100 HP. They're just delaying the bomb plant for as long as they possibly can. Angel takes down another one onto a 2v2. They have no idea they're coming around from the backlines, but they might not even need Oscar. Finally, he gets there, and Dreamer goes down, but Angel with a very strong hold into A finds 3 headshots.
Yeah, Angel currently top ranking for the team at 17-8. The player who's been playing for HellRaisers for the longest, taking breaks in between, I believe. A lot of these guys have been juggled around, but I don't think anyone would have seen this coming. A 13-1 start for HellRaisers. If they win this round, it really comes down to the pistol in the second half. They win that, it's map over.
Yeah.
And MK is left wondering how this just happened. This was our map pick. This was our chance. And now we're moving into Kabul after this, which is a map that definitely goes towards HellRaisers' side.
Yeah.
So this could be a 2-0 if HellRaisers can close this one out.
And again, even to start this round off, you can see that nothing's really going Mortal Kombat's way. The nade over the boost spot finds heavy damage onto Spy Leader and Dreamer, so they're already down to sub 70 HP. This time around, instead of boosting Stiko up on top of the Shroost, as I've liked to call it, the Shroud boost spot where we saw that wild 3K that he had the one tournament that was pretty big. But this time around, he actually is playing on the balcony side.
Yeah,
now he actually drops
land,
down.
Right?
So,
yeah,
I believe so.
It was Sibo land against iBuyPower.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that very vividly. But this play right now that we're seeing from HellRaisers on B main, they go for that molly in towards Sunrun. We've seen them do it several times over the window.
And then push behind
And then they put a
info.
smoke deep to prevent any possible support, so it basically isolates your player if he's in B main, and he goes for a 1v1 with one of your strongest players, and then allows Oscar to go on the prowl. Angel in mid having a hard time with the recoil, and Victor's going to get the kill, so they're going to be able to get highway control here. But look at Zero boosted up on the railing. They're not going to spot him in time. He takes down NKL and Bubble after the recoil is corrected. Down goes the support. Zero's going to find a third. And now it's all on Dreamer here in a 1v4, the story of the first half.
That was a massive round from Zero. Basically single-handedly shutting down that push. The recoil control to go from the squeaky door play down to that player coming out from A main. Gets both of them, spins around and takes down the highway player as well. Big half from HellRaisers. And, you know, you hate to say it, but you can almost already write this map off. You could have almost, and one of the other things that kind of kills me too is we never saw a pause out of Mortal Kombat throughout that first half. You're getting bodied throughout the entirety of this half. Why are you not calling a timeout to revamp things? Why are you not calling a timeout to think about things, talk things over? All right, what we're doing right now, we had one round that we won over mid-control. They kept going for that mid-control, and then they started getting shut down every single time that they went there. Their A splits weren't working. They weren't throwing smokes out. They didn't have utility to work with most of the time. You know, and it might have been one of those situations where one full save round could have put the utility back into their hands necessary in order to take that A bomb site or molly out the B bomb site, flush these players out of these angles that they're holding, but it never happened. And now they're staring down the barrel of a 13-round difference going into this pistol round in the second half. And it's like you said, HellRaisers wins the pistol round here. This might just be map 1 done and dusted.
Looks like MK is going to go with the standard A retake here, sending 3 players towards B, keeping the one man with a kit, NKL, back towards the truck on the A site. Dreamer's going to get aggressive here, pops the head of one and a second. Stiko and Zero both going down. Oscar finally gets the refrag here. He's got the Tech 9 armor, the raid boss by, but down he goes, so they're going to try and find that gun if they can. It's down to just 2 here. Angel and Questone, this is a great start for MK in the second half. Another headshot for the CT side as Bubble spots Questone, and it's all on Angel. He was top fragging in the first half. Can he continue his dominant performance here? Great shooting with the Glock, taking down Spy Leader. He's in vents, hoping not to get shot from the player close on the vents, and he doesn't. It's a good crossfire setup here for the CTs. The bomb is down at B main, so he's going to have to take a fight with Bublin, but he's got NKL right around the corner. If he can just get a few shots onto him, the lack of armor could produce aim punch and could result in an easy frag. He's trying to get the one-taps here with the USB. He needs to take down Bubble. Not going to happen. That's 2 for Bubble. It was 2 for Dreamer as well. Spy Leader picking up that 5th frag for the side of MK. So a must-win pistol situation goes their way, and they can potentially bring this one back.
Potential is there, absolutely. But, I mean, it's a long road. A long road. 12 rounds the difference right now. 14-2 for HellRaisers. Tremendous first half coming out from the CT side on cash. And heavy investment right here from the CT side. They've got 2 M4s, 2 FAMASs, and an MP7. Not a lot of utility to work with. They're not really necessarily going to need it. You've got the Deagle buy on Oscar. We've seen crazy things from him with the Desert Eagle in the past. Stiko's going to be on a Glock as well as Zero and Quest, so they're not going to be too heavily invested into this one, and that is a very painful nade. I think that was a 97 damage nade onto Oscar. He's down to 3.
One of the things that people don't realize is you can actually kill someone with 1 grenade.
Yeah, you hit them
with it.
But
you have to hit them,
yeah.
Exactly. So if you hit them with the nade, you do the impact damage as well. And there you go, the first frag finally goes their way. Spy Leader getting killed. Zero uses the Glock to take down NKL in sight. Spy Leader's going to respond from quad. He's trying to do what he can here. Whips out the USP. Still getting pushed by Stiko. Down he goes, though. Victor finally coming in from mid with the support. Actually, may have come in from truck, actually. So Angel again, back by Vents. Last man standing here. Gunned down by Dreamer. MK shutting down the eco round from HellRaisers. HellRaisers did not put any money into that round except for, you know, the 1 Deagle and a P250. There was no armor. There was no utility. They wanted to try and get a bomb plant and go into that 3rd round buy, which would have been pretty punishing for MK if it went that way. But another save here, a deco of sorts with Stiko, Zero, and Angel all picking up the hand cannon. But it should be another round for MK.
Well, not to mention the fact that also with that lack of investment into that 2nd round, it's going to make their next round buy, that 4th round buy, all the much stronger. They're going to have all the utility that they wanted. I mean, a look at the money at the beginning of that round, and you saw everybody that was pretty much over $3,000 going into this round. So they're going to be very healthy, up over $5 grand going into the first gun round. So very comfortable with the AKs, lots of utility to work with as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things kind of pan out. You've got a very, I want to say, aggressive style setup on the B bomb site. You've got one player playing up in vents, waiting for the push to come around from mid, a player playing back checker box that's just watching his 6 for anybody to come around. But there's the opening pick. Angel goes down. Victor going to be able to take that boosted player down. Now the Desert Eagle from Stiko looking for this highway frag, just trying to line it up. There he goes. Gets the one tap on the Spy Leader, takes him down. Now they've got to deal with NKL back. Oh my God, back quad down. NKL goes off the map, deleted. Victor does finally get rid of Stico, but there's a bomb plant, so even more money going into this first gun round.
And this is also costing MK quite a bit of money. They've lost 2 rifles. They don't want to lose any more. They're going to try and flush the players out. They go for the boost up. That armorless rifle gets taken down quite quickly. The Molly's going to finish off Oscar. It's all on 0 here. He does have a deagle, but the bomb is not planted for him. He's in A main. Probably looking to do a bit of damage here, but it doesn't look like the rest of MK want to take that duel. Baldwin's just going to go for the easy defuse. I don't even think 0 heard the bomb going off, getting defused. Didn't really matter. HellRaisers lose the round, but they have plenty of time to close this one out. 10 rounds before it's a tie, and they're going to be coming into this one with that heavy investment, and we're finally going to see an op. We're now in round 29.
Actually on both sides here too. Bubble picks one up as well, but Oscar, highlight reel opping that we've seen in the past. We'll see if he can lock it down this time around. Bubble's going to have it on the CT side. Again, another very strong opper. He's going to take it over towards the B side of the map. Oscar is actually over towards A main, looking for any kind of a push going in towards that side of the map. But now they're going to fall back. They're going to go for the boost up over the top and see if that op can actually pay dividends for him moving forward into this round. Victor completely smoked off in Z, so mid control is going to be exercised by HellRaisers, something that we saw Mortal Kombat do most of the time on their own terrorist side.
And they actually, you know, we saw MK playing a little bit of mid, like heavy mid presence earlier on. They had that player boosted into vents, and they had one in Z connector. They're going to just go with a one-man hold here, allow the T side to get mid control, play a little bit more passively. And that's dangerous. He's going to be hearing the footsteps, but if Angel gets the kill, all of a sudden it spins around back towards HellRaiser's favor, but a nice duel going the way of Victor. Going to change things a little bit. That leaves Queston kind of abandoned here on Highway. He's all by himself. He can't really force his way up for the fight because he's got to watch his 6. And up on the railing, it's Spy Leader, not as successful as the boost we saw from 0. Victor taking down Queston, but it was Oscar who picked up that huge op frag onto the man boosted. Now he's on the forklift. He's going to get himself another one. And it's all on Dreamer here, the last hope for MK as he's coming up from Highway right into the sights of Oscar, who's got the AWP, putting some bullets into 0, though does not get the kill. And now that allows HellRaisers to go into a post-plant position that's going to be quite difficult for Dreamer to crack.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, they do peek out. They actually double peeked on that to gather the information as to where he's coming from. 0's just going to hug the bomb right now. It is actually planted for A main, and Oscar, 4K on the round. First time we see the op come out, he plants 4 of them, gets the entries into that A bomb site. He picked one off over by the MBK wall near Squeaky. He picks the player that was up on top of the balcony off, closes out the round with the final kill as well. Nicely done, and now we've got HellRaisers on map point for map number 1 in this BO3. And again, coming up after this one is going to be Cobblestone between these two teams, and then Mirage if necessary. But this was Mortal Kombat's map pick, and they are just getting dumpstered right now.
Yeah, they're getting bodied. It's very difficult. And coming into the potentially final round, it's a force buy. They've got a split buy, 3 pistols, 2 rifles. The first half, a lot of their economic woes were due to poor planning early on. They went into a lot of force buys, consecutive force buys. Now it's just the nature of the situation. They've been winning rounds, but they just haven't been able to stabilize. Good shooting from NKL, though, showing you how strong these pistols can be. They might not be out of this one yet. Down he goes, taken down through the forklift by Oscar with the AWP. Victor finds himself another frag using that rifle. But it's down to just 2 here. Oscar and 0 trying to crack their way into this A site, and they've already lost the majority of their team, and Oscar losing most of his HP. Down he goes to the pistol. It's all on 0 here. This was a force buy for the side of MK, and 0's just going to try and get out of Squeaky Door while he still can, but he doesn't know that Bublin has already moved his way up in A main, so it looks like we are going to see a 15-5, assuming that he peeks here, but he just allows 0 to get back in towards mid, so not going for that aggressive peek out of A main.
Yeah, but a 4v1, 32 HP, doesn't have the bomb. It's actually still dropped over in the middle of the A bomb site, so that's going to be, you know, problem numero uno to deal with. There's the white peak out off a highway, though. Dreamer gets planted, taken off the map as well. No damage being dealt whatsoever to 0, so he's still on 32. But that was the, I believe he actually was pretty low, Dreamer. So he goes down. Now moving through Z hallway. Working on maybe going for a little bit of a backstab over here from the truck side. 20 seconds, though, so he's probably just going to try to do as much economical damage as he can, and he's not going to get any further. Victor does manage to take him down. Let's see, do they salvage the op, though? And they don't. So they don't pick up the AWP onto the side of Mortal Kombat, so they're not going to have that into this round. Oscar is going to have an op again. He gets that dropped over from 0, throws over the AK. They trade out the weapons. And see what kind of investment they have. This is actually going to be a force-up here from the HellRaisers side. AWP, AK, and then a couple of upgraded pistols with head armor to work with. So they're still trying to close out this map, 15-5. And still a lot of CS to be played if MK can make this comeback happen.
I mean, they still have quite a mountain to climb here. 10 rounds in a row they're going to need to win. Good start here into this round. Victor's going to get a one and done, though, in mid. Zero coming around the corner with the AK. Making quick work of him. So they're going to start storming up highway. Pretty fast play here from HellRaisers, just abandoning all discipline and just running into this site. Zero gets taken down very low in a 1-for-1 again. It's down to just 2 players here, so a lot of trading going back and forth. But the man on B has abandoned the site. That would be Dreamer. He's going to be playing back towards tree. Needs to spot this first frag. That's Oscar with the AWP. He's the strong player in the round. Sneeko only has a P250. He does eventually get the kill, but it takes him quite a bit of time and HP. And unfortunately, they lost the bomb, and there's bomb gravity, according to CSGO. It lands in towards tree. Unfortunate situation for HellRaisers, but I don't think they're going to be too upset about it. They still have 9 rounds to close this one out. But there's that cruise control factor.
Yeah.
A lot of times you see teams come into a second half after a dominant first half performance, and they kind of relax a little bit. They play a little bit looser, and that round really was kind of similar to that style where you just kind of like run in. Part of it was limited utility. Part of it was probably confidence. But they just run in, try and take duels, just a lot of 1-for-1s. There's very limited tactical play, and as a result, it pushes HellRaisers to an eco.
Good nades in towards that A main area. That's Sneeko down to 14 HP. And like you said, I mean, they're going to have Glocks to work with. They did upgrade to a Desert Eagle and a P250 on a couple of the players, but really no investment into this round. They're going to be looking for a bomb plant. They've got no smokes to flush any of these players out or smoke off any of these choke points, and that's going to... Actually, Sneeko is gotten out from A main. He's playing on top of Toxic right now. It would be cool to see another player get out towards A main and actually get boosted up over the top, but Angel, he's going to go down here in mid. Victor's going to have good aim with that M4, finds that kill. One more to contend with. That's going to be Quest going down as well. So, and also getting spotted by Dreamer over B. Recoil not necessarily fully under control. He does take down Oscar, but he gets traded by Zero. Bomb is on his back, so they know that the bomb is over on that side of the map. And good patience from NKL actually finds Sneeko as well.
So another easy round here for MK to pick up some cash and stabilize the economy, because that was the big story of the first half, was they could never kind of stabilize their money. They were constantly force buying, and it was definitely punishing for them. So the fact that they're able to get as many rifles as they are, consistently winning rounds with a couple of bodies left standing, makes things a little bit easier. But even still, it's another buy round coming in from HellRaisers, and it really is that matter of time factor.
Yeah.
The best case scenario, if MK loses, is that they make it close. So when they move into map 2, they don't feel as bad about the defeat. And not only that, they get into the heads of HellRaisers, who said, man, we were up by so much. How did it take us that long to close it out?
I could not tell you, but somebody's cheering out there. I believe that we're on a little bit of a delay as far as our GoTV is concerned, so maybe something exciting happens in this round. I'm not sure just yet, but as of right now, the damage is onto the Mortal Kombat side, as it was Spy Leader that actually got dropped down. They went for a little bit of a aggressive push onto the B-bomb site to gather a little bit of information, so we might have gotten tagged up in a little bit of an exchange over there as well. But as of right now, it's just going to be another kind of standard play leaning towards that A-bomb site from the HellRaisers side. That's where they found their success in the past. They didn't find success going towards the B-bomb site. This time around, it's going to be back towards A. They've got a little bit of utility to work with. They've got 2 smokes, 3 Molotovs, 4 flashes to work with as well. 1 Molly going out here towards Forklift. Flashbang as well. Bubble's completely blinded, but he is going to be able to abate from that area. Mollies go out. Angel does find first blood. Takes down NKL.
Bublin starts to run back in towards the molly, but the flash lands just in time. Victor's going to get 1, gets 2, tries to get a 3rd. He does! Huge play from Victor, and it's going to bring it to a 2-on-2. Questone baits out the bomb plant and drops the player advancing from truck very low. That's Spy Leader. Sneeko somehow not able to land a bullet in him. Spy Leader escapes with 24 HP. Bomb's going to be planted in the default spot here, and it's going to come down to a 2-on-2 post plant. Spy Leader back by truck. They know he's in this position. Dreamer's working his way up from highway. It's really on Spy Leader to try and get this first kill while his player from highway gets up into position. He's going to take a duel with the man on red box. It's great positioning from both teams, but time is ticking here.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of how are you going to push up. And Sneeko, he's now down to very low HP. 1 bullet could be the map right here. Here comes a little bit of a ninja from Spy Leader. He does have a kit. Is Sneeko going to make it in time? He's still walking around the corner, and the bomb gets defused. There you go. So Mortal Kombat, they survived by the skin of their teeth for another round. And that is no smoke, ninja defuse, 5 seconds, right in your face.
Yeah, I mean, the bomb was planted wide, but not wide enough.
Yeah.
He didn't quite plant it on the corner, knowing that he can't go too far away because there was a player truck, and he didn't want his player Forklift to force a fight. So you're not planning for Forklift, you're more planning for like Squeaky or A main. It's still a more open plant than planning on the default, but it allowed him to get into a tight angle and defuse the bomb without being seen. And in that situation, you assume your opponent is going to fake it and go for the peek, knowing you're maybe a little bit low on HP. So kind of a mixed buy coming in here from HellRaisers as Angel is on a CZ75. First AK is going to go down. That's Stico dropping. Oscar and Zero combined for frags. Victor picks one off from range, but they are going to get control of the site. Very chaotic round yet again here, but they do get in, and they're going to go for the bomb plan here. Molly might be right on default and might delay things a little bit longer. Flashes and grenades raining out in both directions. Oscar gets a one and done as Dreamer takes him out. Questone's going to chime in with a frag of his own, but it's all on Dreamer here in a 1v2. 5 HP between both players on HellRaisers.
There's one. Looking for the second one on Angel. And there it is. So, again, it comes down to the clutch factor right now. And Mortal Kombat is coming out on top these last couple of rounds. It came down to a 1v1 previously. This time it's a 1v2. Mortal Kombat still surviving for the time being, 15-9. As there you go. I had a little hiccup right there as far as our stream was concerned, but we're good to go. And into this next round, 15-9. Can Mortal Kombat continue to bring this one back? It's going to be a full investment. AWP back in the hands of Oscar, and we'll see how it plays out.
If this continues on in this fashion, though, Mortal Kombat is not in a good spot.
They'll
MK continues to run out of money every round. Like, look, their buy right now, they're down to $150 on 3 of their players because they're consistently rebuying rifles. It's what, 2 rounds in a row where it came down to 1 player for the CT side. They can't sustain that. Whereas HellRaisers, as long as they're getting bomb plants, they're getting full buys round after round. They've got the $3,400 loss cost and $800 from the bomb plant. So $4,200 every time, plus whatever they're getting from the kills and whatever's left in the tank from the previous round.
Yep.
And that's why you can see Oscar picking up an AWP here despite the fact that they just lost the round prior.
Nades over the top of Boost. Not going to find fruitful damage this time around. It's going to be Angel down to 72-93 for Oscar, but there's the opening pick. Quest going to be able to find Victor, takes him off the map. Spy Leader over here by the cat box. Does spot one coming out from mid. Able to take down Angel, but he's got another player real close. That's Quest. He finds his second of the round. There's the off from Oscar. This could be the round right here. 2-man advantage going for HellRaisers. Full mid control as well. They've just got to deal with Dreamer, who's in the back lines, back checkers. And he should be getting flushed out here very soon. Does take the peek, finds one. Not able to get the second. Recoil not under control. Oscar takes him down. It's a 1v3. NKL, the last man standing. We kind of talked about that in the first half where he was the last one standing for a while for the Mortal Kombat side. This time he's mollied out of heaven. Not really going to have too much to go for onto this round. And this should be the coffin nail for HellRaisers to be able to take map number 1.
Yeah, barring a huge play from NKL here, it looks like it's going to be all she wrote for MK. They brought it back and made it close. Great dropping headshot onto Oscar. It was all of a sudden possible. But things finally close out here as we see Zero get the last kill.
So there you go. Cash, done and dusted, goes the way of HellRaisers. They steal away the pick from Mortal Kombat, and now we look towards Cobblestone.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, I mean, that's the pick from HellRaisers. They're already up 1-0 in the series. This could be the 2-0 that we talked about before.
That spells disaster, really, for the side of MK. We really thought that Cash was going to be their map, but we knew going into it that it was a strong map for HellRaisers, so it was a really strong possibility that we could see HellRaisers take the first map. Very limited possibility that we see MK take Cobble off of HellRaisers, unless they've been working on the map. Obviously, anything can happen, but just looking at map history and team history, this is a map that definitely goes towards HellRaisers. So MK is really going to have to fight for map number 3, which is Mirage, which really, again, is another even map. But this should have been an even map, and it wasn't. Yeah, on paper, this should have been a map where both teams, it should have been a 30-round map, maybe 28 rounds. It should have been very close. Instead, it only got close because HellRaisers just didn't get that last round to close things out.
Right. So we'll be back in a few minutes for you guys. We are going to take a quick break. I believe everything is all set and ready to go for Cobblestone. The players have actually evacuated the building for the time being to go cool off after that match is all said and done. Map number 2 coming up next, guys. Cobblestone. Stay tuned. We'll be back.